Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I want to dive into a discussion video about the #1 thing that I think Pokemon Unite needs to change or fix or alter or iterate on in order for the game to have a successful future. Now, I talk about the game and a lot of its shortcomings and the things that I want to see changed, and I've honestly, well, I talk about them a lot, but I've honestly pulled way back on doing any kind of discussion videos like this because, to be honest, not a lot has ever changed for Pokemon Unite in terms of the things that it's not doing very well, and I feel like it does turn into a situation where I'm just kind of beating the dead horse and things of that nature. But before we dive into the topic, drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Pokemon Unite content. There's like 45% of y'all who are not subscribed, and I would love to have y'all in my gameplays and my discussions and things going forward. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, a big thing that I do want to touch on, and this is really important because there's always this notion that all I ever do is complain about the game. That's just not true. I want to talk about draft. I think that draft is about to be huge for this game. It is going to do a massive, fundamental, positive, and right thing. It's going to be one of the best things I've ever done for this game, and I'm going to quickly talk about why, and then I'm going to talk about how this leads to me choosing the #1 thing that they need to fix going forward with Pokemon Unite. So draft, it's pick and ban. Both teams are going to be able to ban one Pokemon, and then you're going to snake draft, and you're going to have no mirror matches. Now, the funny thing is that I think oftentimes when talking about pick ban, it feels like the bans themselves are the major benefit of this system, and they are a major benefit. Let's look at the Mew Mime meta, for example. If we had pick ban, you know, when Mew Mime was 100% the most oppressive and annoying thing, well, then both teams would just ban Mew Mime, or you can at least ban one of them, or you could ban something different and then you could get one of them. There's some ban strategies there, but that is a really huge benefit to controlling the OP top end side of the meta in terms of balance. But that's not even actually the full benefit of pick ban. The full benefit of pick ban is no mirror matches. This is where the game is going to shine, because there are going to be a lot of picks that start coming out as more counter picks than we've really ever realized before, because there's going to be opportunities for you to see those counter picks and the reason why they are so important to pick. It's also going to open up the meta in terms of picks that are more viable, just because there's not really much of a reason to play them. So like right now, the defender role or like the tank role, it gets used up by some supporters, and like I think Mamo gets picked, you know, an okay amount, but you're going to start seeing a little bit more Snorlax. You might start seeing a little bit more counter picking Slowbros. You might see like, oh, they have XYZ ultimate, let's pick Wigglytuff for like our tanky supporter kind of role. And I think that you're going to start to see that meta open up more and more towards the counter picking side of things, which increases the skill ceiling of the game. It not only introduces more characters into the meta, but it makes the game completely unique of characters, like 10 completely different characters, 12 if you count the 2 that are banned, and that is the biggest benefit, and it's going to be absolutely massive. You're not going to have to worry about, oh, well, I'm Greninja, they're Greninja, but he got fed off lane, so now I can't keep up with him. You don't have to worry about that. It's just a completely different game, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's going to change a lot. Now, here's what it's not going to change, and the #1 thing that they need to focus on is the actual ranked experience and the rank system itself. Now, we have to put a pin in this because the disclaimer is that we do have like the splitting queues coming, but we don't really know enough about it. We don't know if the split queues are going to have their own leaderboard. We don't know, because it's like duo, trio, and 5-stack split queues. We don't know if that means that there's going to have a solo queue. You know what I mean? Is it, you know, do they just queue and then they only get solos by themselves? We don't know if these party sizes have, like I said, their own leaderboards, or if the implication is just that it's the matchmaking and you're still competing for the same leaderboard placings. You're just only playing those group sizes. So we don't really have quite enough to fully understand exactly how this is going to change the game. But I'm really hoping that it's like solo duo, or like solo, duo, trio, and 5-stack all in their own unique groups, and then they all have their own unique leaderboards. I really doubt that they're going to split the game that much, but that would be best case scenario. So having said that, the #1 thing that they need to improve is the actual rank system itself, not just the matchmaking sizes like with the duo, trio, things like that, but the actual rank system itself. Now, I posted a tweet the other day, and I'll probably pop it up on screen really shortly, and I essentially ran into a player who when they went AFK, and honestly, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It seemed like they were disconnecting a lot. They were like running into walls, and then they would just disappear for a bit. And they had like 5,000 damage. They had like 1 kill the whole game, and they were quite literally just AFK the whole match. And I pull up their API, and I pull up their account in game, and they have, you know, like an overall win rate of like 46% with like 3,000 matches played. They have a season win rate of 45% with like 300 games played. So they've been playing a lot this season. Like 300 is a pretty good amount of games this season. And they were like Masters 1400. Now, the issue here is that not only are they the highest rank in the game with a negative win rate, not only are they, you know, like able to just like AFK out of matches or disconnect, whatever the case may be. We all know that there's no punishment for AFKs. You know, fair play points they just don't do enough. But the person is actually climbing in ranked. Like, they've actually gone up from the starting point in Masters at 1200 up to 1400. So, you know, even if it was possible, like let's say hypothetically this player made it to Masters with a 50% win rate at 1200. Well, even if it was possible for them to perfectly make it to Masters at 50% win rate, in order for them to have a negative win rate and be 1400, that just simply doesn't make any sense. Like, you would have to have a positive win rate at 50% if this was an actual ranked mode and actually had, you know, some kind of competitive integrity into it, where you would have to have a positive win rate from that set point to go up to 1400. And then if you started losing a lot, then you would go down back to 1200 and maybe under 1200 if you have a negative win rate. So the big issue with Unite Ranked, and like a major issue, is partially the matchmaking and the group sizes and things of that nature that are hopefully about to be addressed, but it's mostly the fact that you can make it to those upper echelons of the ranked without actually really earning it. Now, you know, who's to say if you've earned it or not? Well, I gotta be honest, I think that it's a bit of like, you know, kind of like common sense that like if you're not winning half your matches, you really shouldn't be climbing. I've never really played much of a competitive game online where you can lose the majority of your games and still make forward progress. That just doesn't really make any sense. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but like if I worked a job and I had a boss, and most of the days that I went into work, I was like not really completing my work. I wasn't really getting it done. My boss, you know, expected more from me. I just wouldn't expect that they would be happy in the long term. And probably I would get fired, or probably they would have to have some kind of talk with me to make some changes. And so, you know, not a great analogy, but you get the point. The point is that in order for Unite to have a serious kind of ranked mode, and in order for Unite to even, infuse any kind of a grind into the game, we do need some version of a leaderboard that's accessible to the varying group sizes of people that play. So like a solo leaderboard would be a really good way to incentivize a grind, but also we need the matches and the players that we're playing with to be a little bit more sensible in terms of our skill level. So the number one thing that the game needs to change, it really is like having a solo leaderboard, but I think that we could maybe be getting that. So for now, with the upcoming leaks and the things that we think are on the horizon, it is a reworked rank system. So in my opinion, I don't really have to speak on exactly how I would do it, but I do want to touch on the fact that this is a major thing that has been needing to be changed in the game for quite a long time. I think that if it was up to me, I would probably put players around that 50% line, somewhere in like mid-veteran, maybe encroaching towards ultra. Like, you have to have, like, you got to start getting a little bit more consistent to climb out of those ranks. And then reaching towards like mid-ultra to masters, I would say you need like 51, 52, 53. And then obviously anything higher than that, you're just climbing a little bit faster. So in an ideal world, you would have players that have a very high win rate that spike up to the highest rank, and then as they are playing players of their skill level, that win rate will climb down a little bit, and it'll get everyone who is like good at the game and like in each other's skill range at any skill level. You'll start to see those win rates pull back down towards 50% because you're going to be playing players of even skill, and then that's going to make it to where you're winning some, you're losing some, maybe you have a nice win streak, maybe you're playing really well one day, and ultimately you will have a much more balanced rank system where, a player who has a 53% win rate or a 55% win rate is also playing with players in that same kind of like, 3 to 5% win rate range or so. Not that that's what they should do matchmaking on. It should mostly focus on your actual Masters points, in my opinion, but they need to rework how you get to those Masters points and how it shouldn't be possible to climb, basically losing your way through the rank system. So friends, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear it. This is definitely not a new topic, but just want to recycle this because we do have some very, very exciting changes on the horizon, and I'm looking forward to them, but I think that it may not be enough, and I'll definitely be there to share my thoughts on all these changes and what I think needs to improve as the game continues its development going forward. So as always, friends, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Pokemon Unite content. Be sure to be kind to one another, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.